players, staff members, and fans mourn the loss of Erin Popvich, the wife of Spurs coach Greg Popvich.
Obviously, I'm a huge Pop fan. I love Pop. That's such a tragedy, and my best wishes goes out to Pop and his family.
The lawyer for infamous killer nurse Genene Jones blames voices in her head for the overdose deaths of babies in her care.
Dubbed the Angel of Death, convicted of murder in 1984 and sentenced to 99 years for killing with a fatal overdose of muscle relaxers.
And a night in Old San Antonio turned 70. I'm Chance Dorland with your Express Briefing for Thursday, April 19th. Subscribe to this and other free content at expressnews.com/podcasts. And get each day's top news and sports headlines delivered to your inbox at expressnews.com/newsletters. Erin Popvich, the 67-year-old wife of Spurs coach Greg Popvich, died Wednesday. In a statement, Spurs general manager R.C. Buford said, "We mourn the loss of Erin, a strong, wonderful, kind, intelligent woman who provided love, support, and humor for all of us." The Popviches have 2 children and 2 grandchildren after meeting at the Air Force Academy in the 1970s when he was an assistant coach for the Falcons. Erin's father, Jim Conboy, was Air Force's head athletic trainer. While Popvich ran the Spurs practice Wednesday, the news leaves his availability to coach in the remainder of the Spurs' first-round series in doubt. Greg Popvich has coached San Antonio since 1996, leading the Spurs to 5 NBA titles. San Antonio will face Golden State on Thursday night in Game 3 of their first-round playoff series. I spoke with Jabari Young for a preview of Thursday's game at the AT&T Center for our weekly NBA podcast, The Spurs Insider, available for free at expressnews.com/podcasts.
Had it not been for those home wins, they probably wouldn't even be in the playoffs right now. They didn't have as much success as they did on the road. And, for a team that, done well at home over the years. I mean, Spurs finished, 33-8 at home. One of the better home records in the Western Conference, and that's a better record than the Golden State Warriors, who were 29-12. So you obviously know that they're going to come in to this thing and be very crisp, and they'll have a better attitude. They'll have the fans behind them, which I think is always a helpful tool.
Wednesday, the attorney for convicted child killer Genene Jones testified she has confessed at least 3 times to giving overdoses to babies in her care, at one point admitting, "I didn't kill the babies. The voices in my head did." In the 1980s, the now 67-year-old worked at hospitals in San Antonio and for a Kerrville pediatrician, eventually being sentenced to 60 and 99 years in prison for administering overdoses to 2 young children, one of which died. I spoke with San Antonio Courts reporter Elizabeth Zavala about the case for an episode of The Docket, our weekly podcast from the Express News discussing law and crime in San Antonio, available for free at expressnews.com/podcasts.
A former nurse who is believed by our Bexar County District Attorney Nicholas LaHood to be responsible for killing, anywhere from 40 to 60 children, maybe even more than that.
Since May, Jones has now been indicted on charges of murdering 5 other Bexar County children, who all died of overdoses in the early 1980s.
There was a new law that was passed that was aimed at easing crowding in Texas prisons. So she was set to be released in March. And had she not been reindicted by the Bexar County District Attorney's Office, she might have been free as of some particular date in March. So the DA's office was able to get enough evidence, I believe, to indict her in 5 more cases.
This week, a motion for a speedy trial by Jones's attorney was denied, and Judge Frank Castro says he will rule Friday on a motion by the defense to dismiss all 5 charges due to the more than 3 decades it took Bexar County to bring new charges against Jones. And La Villita's Night in Old San Antonio is now 70 years old. Running this year from Tuesday to April 27th, the event brings 4 nights of laughter, food, drink, and music from the cultures that helped shape San Antonio. Starting in 1948 as only a one-night festival, NIOSA is the San Antonio Conservation Society's biggest fundraiser, with profits exceeding $500,000 by 1985, to now raising roughly $1.5 million from the yearly event. Proceeds support the preservation of historic properties, parks, and waterways throughout the city and neighboring counties, as well as education and advocacy initiatives. And that's your daily San Antonio Express News briefing for Thursday, April 19th. Subscribe to this and other free content at expressnews.com/podcasts. I'm Chance Dorland.